Okay, so on our previous video, we talked about electronic instruments. These are, excuse me, devices that are used to understand and analyze the behavior of electronic circuits. And we talked about the voltmeter, ammeter, ohmmeter, and here they are. We're not going to use them, but I'm going to just delete them, click on them, delete, click on them, delete. I'd like to be able to build a very basic circuit using the breadboard in this situation here. And so I'm going to remove all components from my breadboard, and then I'm going to call them out again so we can build the circuit. Okay, so there's the breadboard, and a basic circuit requires essentially three things, four if you will, but let's just do a basic circuit and let's wire that circuit. I am going to use a power supply, so I'm going to bring this battery here as the power supply. I am going to do a power supplies with two batteries, and what I'm getting out of this is the sum of these two voltages, which is going to be 3 volts. Okay, so that's going to be my power supply. All right, the next thing I want to use is a form of a load. So there's no menu for load, but I'm gonna call here a light. Okay, and with that there should be multiple types of lights in here. Okay, one of those is the LED light, so I'm going to bring this LED down here. And now with this particular LED, I need a resistor that because the LED has polarity, and also it's a low voltage element, so I am going to need a resistor. So okay, where are the resistors? Right here. All right, and what I like to do at this moment is also be able to control this with a switch. We haven't connected this yet, and we haven't specified the details, so I'm going to need a switch like you normally would on a real circuit. So I'm gonna call a simple switch here. And you can use the push button switch, or you can use the slide switch. I'm gonna bring the slide switch here. Okay. All right. So on the first video we talked about breadboarding. If you haven't reviewed that video on breadboarding, you may want to go back and review that, because we're not going to explain that anymore here. What I pretend to do is to build a circuit and wire it so we can test it. All right, and to do that, everything has to be connected right. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to power up the whole board, and to be able to do that, I have various options. So we need wires, and so I'm going to bring a positive wire, and I'm going to change the color of the wire to be red. That's usually positive. From this positive point, I'm going to bring it to this point, which means I'm putting power into the whole rail across the board, right? All right, so I'm going to change the color here to black, and I'm going to bring a wire to the upper part. So what I have done so far is I have brought power from the power supply onto the board. So the board is powered up. If I measure voltage between this point and this point, there should be 3 volts in there, right? And I can demonstrate that to you by bringing a DMM, if you will, or multimeter. Okay, so there's the multimeter. I'm going to bring that multimeter here, and I'm going to zoom here. Okay, so I'm going to measure positive, right? and negative. And if I that's a voltmeter, right? If I run this without having anything connected, start simulation, I have 3 volts, right? Because I have power on the rail. So power is on the rail. When I stop the simulation, next I'm going to build the circuit so that we can power up this LED. I'm going to actually remove the switch for now, just to make things simple. Resistors have no polarity, right? But LEDs have polarity. So I'm gonna turn this around. You see that? Because I want to have the ability to connect this light, which is an LED. This is the positive side, this is the negative side. Okay, I'm gonna turn this resistor around too, and I'm gonna move it over here, okay, to make the connection. And so what I'm gonna do now is wire this circuit, okay, and by that I need to bring power, red, from the power rail to the column with the resistors connected, right? So this is all connected internally, therefore by bringing power to this point, I bring power to this side of the resistor. Now I want to go from the resistor column to the anode or the positive of that LED, right? The circuit's not complete. I need to end the circuit with the ground, which is bringing the ground connection from the ground terminal down to this side here, right? Therefore, we have completed the cycle and we have a full circuit. I'm going to change the resistor to make it 250 ohms because I know that's what I need. And now I'm ready to test the circuit. The circuit is ready to be tested out. So here we go. And circuit is illuminated, right? Because everything is perfect. So you saw how this is built.